Hello students, today we are going to see the last part of our chapter number system. In this we shall deal with two concepts. First of all, we shall see how to rationalize the given denominator. Okay, means we have given that sum of the fraction whose denominator is not rationalized, so we need to rationalize the given denominator. Second thing, we shall see the laws of exponent, and in that we'll try to implement the laws and to simplify the given question. Okay, so let us see these two concepts in the NCERT exercise. Now I am taking the first question number 1 of today's, means it is question number 5 of 1.5. Question number 1 to 4 earlier I have taken. In the question number 5, they are saying rationalize the given denominator. As you can see, the first question is given as 1 upon under root of 7. Okay, so look at the denominator. Denominator is given here as root of 7, and you know that if we are finding the square root of any prime number, then it will be non-terminating, non-repeating term, and hence it would be irrational number. So root of 7 is a prime number, and we are finding the square root of prime number. So I can say here the denominator is irrational number. Now if I want to rationalize my denominator, means I want to make it as a rational number, then how I can do it? So let us see the solution. In the solution, first of all, write down the given number as it is, and whatever the denominator is given, you need to multiply and divide by the same denominator. Remember, you need to multiply and divide by the same denominator to balance the given terms. Now 1 and root of 7, look at the numerator. If you multiply, it will come root of 7 only. But when I will multiply the respective denominators, remember root of 7 multiplied with root of 7. From the earlier concept, you know it. If I multiply root of a into root of a, it will become only a, right? The same way I can say that when you multiply root of 7 with root of 7, that will become 7. So here we can say that the final value will come root of 7 upon 7. So here we have seen how to rationalize the denominator if only single term is given. As you can see in the part number B, we have given that the difference of two irrational number in the denominator is given. Okay, however, the numerator is becoming irrational. That is a different case. So our task was to complete the denominator in the form of rational number, and that we have executed. Okay, so similarly we can see the second question over here. We have given that 1 upon under root of 7 minus under root of 6. Now here the question is different from the previous one. In the previous question, the denominator was single, but here the two terms are given in the denominator and they are in the form of subtraction. So in that case, remember, as we have multiplied and divided by the same term of denominator, here also we shall multiply and divide by the same term of denominator, but only one change will be there. What will be one change? The sign you observe between the two terms in denominator we have given, so that we shall change it. If it is given minus, we will make it plus, and if it is given plus, we will make it minus. Okay, so here I am multiplying and dividing by root of 7 plus root of 6. As you can see in numerator, 1 multiplied to root of 7 plus root of 6 will become here root of 7 plus root of 6 only, because simply we are multiplying by 1. But what will happen in the denominator? See, denominator I am multiplying root of 7 minus root of 6 multiplied with root of 7 plus root of 6. Okay, for this I am using one formula. From your right side, the formula I am showing you, that is a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. Right? So this formula, how we are using it? First of all, you observe a plus b. A plus b is given in the denominator. Second denominator you observe, that is root of 7 plus root of 6. and a minus b is again the denominator given as a first one, root of 7 minus root of 6. So if I compare a plus b with a minus b with the given term root of 7 minus root of 6 and root of 7 plus root of 6. So I can say that the value of a will be equal to root of 7 and value of b is equal to root of 6. Okay. Now if I put up in the formula a square minus b square, so value of a I kept here root of 7, so that will become as root of 7 whole power 2 minus b square, that will become root of 6 whole power 2. Okay, so you compare a plus b with a plus b and a minus b with the given denominators. So you will definitely find out the value of a and b, and then you put up the value of a and b in the formula given onto your right hand side, a square minus b square. One simple trick to solve such kind of question is, see, you know it what you are multiplying and dividing it. Okay, so since you are multiplying and dividing by the same term, only sign you are changing. So look at the first term. First term is here root of 7. Okay, so keep root of 7 along with the square. Same way, keep root of 6 along with the square and put up the minus sign in between over there. So now if you solve it further, this will be root of 7 plus root of 6, that will be same, and as you know that root of 7 square, that will be root of 7 into root of 7, and you know that root of a into root of a becomes here a. So we can say root of 7 into root of 7 will become 7. Similarly, if you try to find out the square of root of 6, that will again become 6 over here. You can say one more thing here, alternatively root of 7 square means square and square root are going to cancel and only 7 is remaining. From 7, if you subtract 6, will become here 1, and 1 we can ignore while writing the answer because upon 1 there is no meaning. Okay, so my answer is here root of 7 plus root of 6. Now let us see next question. Next question is 1 upon root of 5 minus root of 2. Again same way I will multiply and divide by the same term, but here minus sign is given between them, I will take it as a plus sign. Same way the numerator will be same only, but denominator, you observe I applied the formula a minus b. First denominator is in the form of a minus b and second denominator is in the form of a plus b. So formula is a square minus b square. So what is a square here? Root and square, that will be cancelled. See, look at root of 5 whole power is given. So power 2 and symbol of root will be cancelled and remaining is only 5. Okay. Then similarly root of 2 square will become here 2, and from 5 if you subtract 2 it will become 3. Okay. So this is your answer of this third part. Now next one. This is our last part, part number D. Root of 7 minus 2. Remember here 2 is not containing the root symbol. So just to create some more variety of the question, they are giving root symbol on first term, but second term is free from the root symbol. Now if we want to rationalize this particular term, the method is same. We shall multiply and divide by the same term, only between the two terms sign is given minus, we shall take it here plus. Again numerator will be the same term because 1 we are multiplying, and in denominator again I have applied the formula a minus b into a plus b. Here value of a is root of 7 and value of b is here 2. Okay, so compare a plus b into a minus b with root of 7 minus root of 2, root of 7 minus 2 and root of 7 plus 2. Okay, so definitely you can easily find out the value of a as root of 7 and b as 2. So in a square minus b square I kept the value of a and b. Now root of 7 square, you know that the square and square root are going to cancel, so remaining is here 7, but 2 is not having the root, so square of 2 will be here 4, and from 7 if you subtract 4 it will remain 3. Okay, so this will be your answer of the last part. As you can see, the denominator now becoming is a complete rational number. However, one thing you note here, the numerator is becoming irrational. In the question, 1 was given in the question, which was rational, and root of 7 minus 2, which was irrational. So we have changed the situation. Only the numerator is becoming irrational while the denominator is becoming here now rational number. So whatever the task was given to us, that we have executed, right? Now let us see the laws of exponent which is required to be used in the x6. So I am taking some laws of exponent. Let us see the laws given in the table. This is my table, and in that I have written all the laws. Let us see the law number 1. For example, students, suppose if I say find out the value of 2 to the power 3. Okay, suppose I say 2 to the power 3 value you need to find out. So 2 to the power 3 means 2 you need to multiply 3 times. Okay, 2 into 2 into 2, right? So here power is called as here 3, while 2 whose power we are finding it, whose exponent we are finding it, that 2 will be called as here base. So as you can see in the first formula, I have written a to the power m into a to the power n. So here a is called as the base, okay, and that base is same. So if two terms are in multiplication and their bases are same, we will add their power. Look at the example. 2 to the power 5 into 2 to the power 2. So look at the bases. Bases are same here, 2 only given, and look at the power 5 and 2. So power we shall add because terms are in multiplication and their bases are same. Same formula will be applicable if the two terms are in given division. So in that case we shall subtract. Okay, bases would be same and terms are in division, so we shall subtract. From the first power, second power we shall subtract. Look at the example. 3 to the power 7 divided by 3 to the power 4. Here base is same, that is given 3, and terms are given in the division. So from 7 I subtracted 4, remaining power will be here 3. Now see the formula number 3rd. Here you see in the third formula one single term containing two different powers. One is power m and another power whole power it is given n. So remember, if the one term containing two power or more than two powers, all the powers we can easily multiply. So suppose one power is given inside and one power is given outside, you simply multiply both the power and then write down the final term. For example, look at the example given over here, 5 to the power 2 whole power 3. So 2 and 3 I have multiplied, it become 5 to the power 6. Okay, similarly formula number 4, if any term having the power 0, its value will be always 1. So similarly, if I take the example, 7 to the power 0 will become 1. Now this is the most important formula we will use in many questions. A to the power minus m is equal to 1 upon a to the power m. Means if a term containing the negative power, if you take that term at the place of denominator, the sign of the power will change. Look at the example. 3 to the power minus of 2, if it goes down, it will become 3 to the power plus 2, and 3 to the power plus 2 means 3 into 3, that will become 9. So the whole value becomes here 1 upon 9. One thing remember, if the power is given positive and you are taking whole term at the place of denominator, then the sign of the power becomes negative. Means simply one thing remember, the sign of the power always changes if the term goes numerator to denominator or denominator to numerator. Okay, now look at the next formula, a to the power m into b to the power m. If you compare this formula with the first formula, in the first formula the powers were different and the base were given same. Here powers are same and the base are given different. So if the bases are different, still the power is same and terms are in multiplication, we can combine their power and we can multiply the two bases. For example, see 2 to the power 3 into 5 to the power 3 we have given. Okay, now here bases are different, 2 and 5, but they contain the same power. So we will do one thing, 2 and 5, the two different bases I can multiply, that will become 10, and their whole power I can write down as 3, because 3 was the common power between them. Same way, if the two different basis terms are given in division and they have the same power, then we can write down the bases are in division and the whole power we can put up m. As you can see the example, 5 to the power 2 divided by 3 to the power 2. So 5 and 3 I wrote in division and their whole power I wrote as 2. Okay, simply you can say that I have taken the power common from both the terms. And the last formula is, suppose you have given the base value is in the form of fraction. Okay, so if that fractional term have the negative power, that negative power you can convert into positive power if you reciprocal the term. Sorry, here by mistakenly I wrote b upon b. Please read as b upon a. Okay, by mistakenly I wrote as b upon b. So read as b upon a. Look at the example, 3 upon 2 given as power minus 7. So we can say that the 2 upon 3 will be power plus 7. Means the base whichever is given in the form of fraction, that will be reciprocaled and sign of the power will change. If it is negative, become positive, and if it is positive, it will become negative. Okay, so these are the laws which we need to use in the next exercise. Let us see the question number 1. First question of 1.6. We have to find out the value of 64 whole power 1 by 2. So see, students, in this question, first of all we shall find out the factors of 64. We know that this particular term we can divide by 2 because it is an even number, so we can divide it by 2. So let us divide by 2 first. Now suppose if I start dividing by 2, it will remain here 32. After dividing it, still 32 I can divide by 2, so this will remain 16. Again if I divide, it will remain 8. Again if I divide, it will remain 4, and same process if I continue to get the term till 1. So see, count how many 2's are coming here. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 2's are coming here. So I can write down 64 as 2 to the power 6. Okay, so this I have written. You can see 64 I have written as 2 to the power 6. Now you observe my term contain two different powers. One is 6 containing inside and the whole power is 1 by 2. I have told you in the laws of exponent, if a term contain two different powers, we can multiply both the powers over there. So 6 and 1 upon 2 I have multiplied. The law I have used here I have written in the next steps. Okay, so a to the power m whole power n is equal to a to the power m into n. Now 6 and 1 by 2, if I multiply from 2, I can easily cancel 6 and then it will remain 3. And what is the value of 2 to the power 3? 2 into 2 into 2 3 times, it will become 8. Okay, let us see the next question. Next question is given as 32 to the power 1 by 5. Okay, now again 32, if I factorize and write down the factors, you will see the factors will come in this manner. How many 2's are coming here? 5. So I will write down 32 as 2 to the power 5, and then again same way both the powers are multiplied by the same formula, a to the power m whole power n is equal to a to the power m into n. Then 5 and 5 cancel, remaining is 2 to the power 1, that will become 2. So this will be the answer of second part number 3rd. In the third part we have given that 125 whole power 1 by 3. Now see 125, it ends with 5, so definitely it can be divisible by 5. So let's divide it. Okay, so if I divide 125 by 5, remain 25. Again I divide, remain 5, and if again I divide, then remain 1. I need to divide the term until I get 1. So now how many times 5 is coming here? 3 times. So I will write down 5 to the power 3. And again you observe, I am writing 125 as 5 to the power 3 already 1 upon 3 power is lying outside. So term contain two different powers. So first of all we shall multiply both the powers here. So 3 and 1 upon 3, if I multiply, it will become 1. Which formula I am using it here? A to the power m whole power n is equal to a to the power m into n. And 3 and 1 upon 3, if I multiply, 3 and 3 will be cancelled, remaining is 5 to the power 1, and 5 to the power 1, simply I can write down only 5, because any term having the power 1 we can write down as it is. Now let us see the second question. Okay, so second question we have given here 9 to the power of 3 by 2. So 9, if I factorize, then you know that 9 is divisible by 3. So if I divide 9 by 3, 3 will remain, and again if I divide by 3, it will remain 1. So we can say that here 9 is equal to 3 into 3. So in place of 9, I can write down 3 square. Again you observe the 3 is having two powers, 2 and 3 by 2. So both the powers will get multiplied by the same formula. A to the power m whole power n is equal to a to the power m into n. And 2 will be cancelled while multiplication, and 3 will remain. So 3 to the power 3 will be equal to 27. Let us see the next question. Means next part. So next part is 32 to the power 2 by 5. If 32 I factorize, that I have shown you earlier how we can factorize 32. So it will contain 2 to the power 5, means 2 will come here 5 times. So we can write down 2 to the power 5. So this will be I have written 2 to the power 5, 32, and whole power is 2 upon 5. Now again it contains two different powers, and if I multiply both the powers by the same formula, 5 and 5 will be cancelled, and then only 2 to the power 2 will remain, and hence it would be equal to 4. Now similarly see the question number question number 2. Two parts are remaining. So let us see the question number 2, third part, 16 to the power 3 by 4. So 16, if I factorize, what will come? If I 16 I am factorizing, so see, if 16 you divide first time by 2, it will come 8, again divide by 2, it will come 4, again if you divide, it will come 2, and last it will come 1. So I can say that 2 will come 4 times over there, and now it contains two powers, 4 and 3 by 4, and if I multiply both the powers, 4 and 4 will be cancelled. Okay, the formula, as you can see, same formula I am using again and again. So it will be 2 to the power 3 will become 8. Okay, the factorization of 16 is shown here. Actually I am showing 64 over here, but you can see from the 16th. Okay, so in that it is coming to 4 times. So we can say that the answer will be here 8. Similarly the last part is 125 whole power minus 1 by 3. Again 125, if I factorize, it will be 5 into 5 into 5. So that we can write down as 5 to the power 3, and 3 and minus 1 upon 3 will multiply. So it will become minus 1, right? And 5 to the power minus 1, see, one formula we have learned, a to the power minus m is equal to 1 upon a to the power m. So if that formula I use it here, so see, minus 1 will become plus 1 if I take the whole term at the place of denominator, and then 5 to the power 1 I return simply as 5. So answer is 1 upon 5. Now let us see the third. In third question, now we have to simplify the given two terms, 2 to the power 2 by 3 multiplied with 2 to the power 1 by 5. Now here you observe the single term is not given to us, two terms are given in the form of multiplication. But both the terms have one common thing, their bases are same. Since two terms we have given whose bases are same and they are in multiplication, so we can add their powers by the formula a to the power m into a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n. So 2 upon 3 and 1 upon 5. If I add, I will take the LCM here 3 and 5 as 15. then I will do the cross multiplication. So 2 and 5 if you multiply, it will come 10, and 3 and 1 if you multiply, it will come 3. 10 and 3 if you add here, it will be 13 upon 15. Okay, formula you can see, a to the power m into a to the power n is equal to a to the power m plus n, right? So it will be 2 to the power 13 upon 15. Let us see the second part. Now in second part we have given that 1 upon 3 to the power 3 whole power 7. Okay, first of all you see the 3 to the power 3 lies in the place of denominator. So first of all we shall bring at the place of numerator. As you know, if the term goes from numerator to denominator or denominator to numerator, the sign of the power will always change. So here 3 to the power 3 comes at the place of numerator, it will become 3 to the power minus of 3. The formula I am using here, 1 upon a to the power m is equal to a to the power minus m. Actually formula is same, only the term placement I have make changes here. Normally we write down a to the power minus m is equal to 1 upon a to the power m, but we have given that the term is in the form of 1 upon a to the power m, that's why the formula is written in the same manner. Okay, so 3 to the power 3 is coming at the place of numerator, the sign of the power is changes, it becomes minus of 3. Now the term is having two different powers, so both the powers we can multiply by the formula a to the power m whole power n is equal to a to the power m into n. So minus of 3 and 7 I will multiply, it will become 3 to the power minus of 21, and again this 3 to the power minus of 21 I can take at the place of denominator, so sign of the power will be changes, and same formula I am using here, a to the power minus of m is equal to 1 upon a to the power plus m, right? And 3 to the power 21, it is not possible to find out manually, it is very difficult, so you can leave the question till here, right? Now let us see now the last two parts of question number third. So third part is given here as 11 to the power 1 by 2 upon 11 to the power 1 by 4. Now one thing you note here, the bases of both the terms given in division, their bases are same, however the powers are different, and we know that if the two terms having the same basis, if it is given in division, so we can subtract their powers. So here from 1 by 2 I can subtract 1 by 4. Now here formula I am using it, a to the power m divided by a to the power n is equal to a to the power m minus n. Okay, so from 1 upon 2 now I am subtracting 1 upon 4. So for that, first of all 2 and 4 I have multiplied, so my LCM you can say that is coming here 8. Now cross multiplication, 4 into 1 will become here 4 and 2 into 1 will become here 2. From 4 if I subtract 2, it will be 2 upon 8, and 2 upon 8 if I simplify, it will become 1 upon 4, right? So similarly let us see the last part. Now last part we have given that 7 to the power 1 by 2 into 8 to the power 1 by 2. Here two different terms are given. Different means their bases are given different, but the power of both the term is same. So you know that if two terms are given with the different bases and same power, normally we multiply their bases and power we write down whole over them. So here see 7 and 8 I am multiplying because bases are different but powers are same, so power I have taken common and 7 and 8 I have multiplied. 7 and 8 I am multiplying and keeping the power same with the help of formula a to the power m into b to the power m is equal to a into b whole power m. Okay, now 7 and 8 multiplication will become here 56, and 56 we cannot simplify further, so 56 to the power 1 by 2 is the final answer. Okay, so students, we have finished the all questions of 1.6 over here, as well as we have completed the exercise, we have completed the whole chapter also. Now next time I will take some additional questions of the chapter number 1. You are advised to solve the homework questions regularly at the end of each and every session. Okay, thank you.